Hey everyone, welcome to the video. I'm North Central and behind me is my truck. Well, what's so special about the truck in this video? Well, this is the truck that I do all my hauling with, especially my camper. And I just wanted to take a few moments and go over some of the things that I've done to this truck to help with that tow. So if you think that might be something you might be interested in, don't go nowhere because you're gonna want to see this. All right, guys, so first things first, let's just go over the basic specs of the truck. It is a Chevy Silverado 1500 double cab, full-wheel drive Z71. It does have the 5.3 liter V8 engine in it, 6-speed transmission, and the 342 gear ratio rear end, which gives it about a tow capability of about 9,800 pounds, somewhere in that range. My camper weighs dry about a little over 7,000 pounds. GVWR is a little over 8,000 pounds. So about 4 tons is what I really kind of go towards. Now, it's under the tow capabilities of this truck, according to the owner's manual and what the truck setup is. Your truck setup might be a little bit different. Always check and make sure what your tow capabilities are. So let's not fool anybody here, okay? This is a half-ton pickup truck. No matter what I do to it, it will always be a half-ton pickup truck. It will never be a 3/4 ton. It will never be a 1 ton. It will always be a half-ton pickup truck. And with that, it has capabilities that it can handle, okay? It can do 9,800 pound towing capacity. It has almost a 2,000 pound cargo capacity. It can hold 1,200 pounds, I believe it's 1,200 pounds, with a distribution hitch on the tow hitch in the back. So it covers all the bases of what I want to tow it for, but always make sure that your truck covers the bases of what you want your truck to tow for. So let's get out and take a look and see what's underneath that I've done to make this truck a little bit better at towing. Okay guys, so right off the bat, let's talk about tires, okay? Now these are the tires that I bought the truck with, and they are 6-ply tires. They're also brand new, and I don't want to take them off and discard brand new tires. So I'm going to use these tires when I can. The best tires to put on this are going to be a 10-ply, because 10-plies have a thicker sidewall and you will experience less sway with that. But having said that, these are pretty decent tires. I don't really have a whole lot of complaint about them, but when it does come time for me to change them, I will be putting 10-ply E-rated tires on this. But right here behind the tires is this little device right here. And this is one of the first things that I put on this truck. This is the Hellwig leaf spring helper. And what it does is it stiffens up your leaf springs, okay? It takes a lot of the bounce and sway out of towing, especially such a large camper. My camper is a J-Flight 28 BHS, and it's just a little bit over 33 feet long. Well, that's a big sail for a half-ton pickup like this. And when I get passed on the interstate by semis, before I did anything to the truck, I did have a lot of sway, and I would have to slow down and speed up and slow down and speed up, and it was just kind of crazy. This is the first thing that I did. I put these on, and it helped a lot. The next thing that I did is right over here beside it. Me come down underneath, and you can get just a little bit better look. The next thing that I did is this right here. Okay, this is a heavy-duty coil spring shock. I took the original shocks off, and I put these in its place. And these helped tremendously. They took a lot of the sway out. Okay, and I also took a lot of the squat out of the back of the truck with this. If you're going to be towing a lot and towing heavy loads and all that, I'm going to say that this is a must. Get yourself some heavy duty coil spring shocks, and it's going to really, really help your towing capabilities of your pickup truck, especially the half-ton stuff. The next thing that I did Everybody was talking about putting airbags on it. I didn't want to put airbags on this. The airbags actually, you have to drill holes in your frame and mount them on the side of your frame and stuff. I didn't want to do anything crazy like that. I got these. This right here, this black piece right here, this is called a sumo spring. And it goes into place, if you can see where it mounts, way back up in here. Okay, this is where your axle bumper is, and it's just a little tiny bumper. It only comes back to about right here. In fact, I have a picture of it, and it looks something like this. So you can see the comparison of the bumper spring compared to the sumo spring. The sumo spring is huge, and you can see this just sitting here. I mean, it's only about maybe an 1/8 inch or so off of the axle plate here. So what this thing does is, as the truck moves and that axle bounces up and down, okay, from your leaf spring and your shock, it comes up and it hits this. Well, half compression of this sumo spring is about 1,500 pounds. So when I put my camper on my trailer hitch or on my tongue, and this truck starts to squat, it starts to hit this, and then it starts to compress this. And it doesn't compress it very far, I'm telling you. And it sits right here on this. And as you're driving down the road, it definitely hits this, and the truck doesn't squat as much, the front end doesn't come up as much, and you have a lot better control, at least that I've seen. Now, the only thing that is bad about this is during regular driving, it definitely stiffened up the back end of this truck. It's definitely not a Cadillac ride anymore, okay? It drives more like a Super Duty truck, if you've ever driven a Super Duty truck. Very, very tight, very, very hard-hitting, and quite frankly, it drives like a truck, I think, should. But these are the 3 things back here in the back that I did. You know, being underneath here like this reminds me that I took a little GoPro and strapped it to the bottom of this thing, and when I first did all this work underneath here, and I wanted to see what the ride quality was going to be like, and so I strapped a camera underneath here just to get an idea of what everything looked like whenever I was driving. And I went through a absolute torrential rainstorm, but I took that video and I posted it on YouTube, and I will put a link to that right up here in the down in the description as well, so you can take a look at that if you want to. But that's what I've got going on back here. Let's go up front and take a look at what I've got going on up there. All right, guys, so here we are at the front end of my truck. Here's the hood, there's the tire, here's underneath. And underneath right here, this right here, this big coil spring right through here, this is your strut, okay? Or your strut assembly. And this big rubber piece that's in here, okay, is another sumo spring. It's for the front end of your truck. Basically, it's a great big huge wedge that goes in here between your spring coils and stiffens up the front end of your truck. It actually lifted it up just a little bit. But another thing that helps with sway, and it also stiffens the truck up the spring wise, and makes it be able to carry just a little tiny bit more. So that's what I did here in the front end. I didn't replace this, but I did put this sumo strut, or the sumo spring front in on the strut spring. All right, guys, so one of the next things that I did here is in the front end, in the engine compartment, and I took out the stock air filter system and I put in a cold air system. This one is by Rough Country. It was about $150, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but somewhere in that range. And it works great. Went in very easy. Got the filter up here with a little filter bag on it, but did real nice with that. The only issue that I had is with the air sensor here. When I first installed it, I had a check engine light come on and it would not go off. And I ended up getting on a forum or something, and somebody said to take off the negative lead of the battery, and I did that for about a half an hour, put it back on, check engine light went away, and this thing's working great. It's supposed to give you somewhere around 10, 15, 20 more horses and torque. It's, you know, when you're talking about 10, 15 horses, you're really not going to feel something like that whenever you're going, but for me, at least, I know that it's there, and performance-wise, every little bit helps. So we're going to do that. And again, this is the Rough Country. It's about $150, and the reason I used the Rough Country is because it wasn't $300 like some of the K&N stuff, and it looks good. I like it. Rough Country. It looks good up here. It opens up the engine compartment, and it definitely makes it sound a little bit more like a V8. Okay, this is after the cold air intake is put on. Definitely got more of a throat. All right, guys, so the only other thing that I have done to this truck is I changed the flashers here in the front to LEDs. And of course, when I did that, I ended up getting hyper flash. And I ended up having to, if you can see that right down there, add a resistor. And sorry about the little mess up there, but it was kind of hard to get that screw in there. But I ended up adding this resistor in here, and it's just a little 6 ohm resistor that you can get off of Amazon. Real easy to install. They got videos and stuff on it online, so you can definitely install and get that thing on there. I put them on, of course, one here and one over on the other side over there. But now they work right. They blink the way they're supposed to blink, and they're nice LEDs. That's the only other thing that I've really done to the truck. All right, guys, so next I just want to go through real quick some of the plans that I have going forward with the truck. And one of them is right here in the front grille. I'm going to be putting a new transmission cooler in here. Right now, the original one goes through part of the radiator. And when you're towing it, it helps the transmission to if you keep it cool. So I'm gonna put another one in here to help with that aspect. Try and keep my transmission a little bit cooler. The cooler it is, the longer it'll last, hopefully. So I don't know if I'm gonna do the cooler first or mirrors first. I'm definitely going to put some tow mirrors on these. This is got bug stuff all over this. Definitely, these mirrors look good on the truck, but tow mirrors would look a lot better, and they actually perform a lot better whenever you're towing. Definitely see bigger and better and all that. I drive a F-250 Super Duty for work, and the mirror is humongous. And when you're towing, that's what you want. You want to be able to see as much as you can, behind what you're towing. So they're pretty cheap. I can get a set for, 150, 160, 170 bucks, and they're going to be really nice whenever I put them on. But definitely before next season, I'm going to have tow mirrors, and hopefully I'm going to have that transmission cooler by next season as well. Of course, there's also the add-a-leaf back there, and this still has the stock exhaust system. I'm wanting to put a little bit more of a performance one. Rough Country, again, some people love them, some people hate them. I like Rough Country. They have one that's about $500 or so, and it just gives it a little bit more of a V8 sound, throaty growl like, and it's also a dual exhaust. So the stock is a single, comes out on the other side of the truck. This one will come out on either side, just behind the back tires on either side. So do that. Engines are air in, air out. So I've got the air in with the cold air intake. I want the air out with the dual exhaust, and then possibly a tuner. I don't know. We'll see how it does. But yeah, that's the truck, the things that I've done, and plans that I hopefully have in the future with it. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it. That's the things that I have done to the truck personally, and things that I plan on doing in the future. The future projects, of course, are a little bit more money than the ones that I've done. I'm also in the process of blacking it out. I did level the front end. I put a 2-inch level under it, but I want to change out the rims and get some maybe some 33-inch tires or something like that up underneath of it. I don't know, we'll see. But as far as towing is concerned, leaf spring helper or add a leaf, the sumo springs, and the heavy duty coil shock really help this thing out with as far as towing goes. And then of course the sumo spring up front as well. And another thing that's going to help you with sway is going to be your tires. 10-ply E-rated tires are what you should have for towing. Okay, so I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and go right on over to that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed, and subscribe, and then go right to the bell notification and hit all notifications. That way, whenever I upload a video, you won't be able to miss it. Also, don't forget about the teeSpring store, where you can get North Central merchandise if you want to. All right, guys, that's going to wrap this one up. Till next time, I'm North Central. See ya. It's a good looking truck.